What's up YouTube, this is NicotineRx and today we're going to take a look at SHFiguarts Chainsaw Man. So it's been a while since I've made a SHF review, so I thought, why not do it now? It's not really a Kamen Rider, but I thought of doing something different, and since this just came out, yeah, why not let's take a look. Boxed, pretty standard. I love the colors, very vibrant. Got the Chainsaw Man blurb over here with the text. It's quite a thick box, but honestly, you're not getting much out of the entire thing. You just figure and a few accessories, which I think it's fine for the price point. The back, again, standard SHFiguarts stuff. You got the figure in a bunch of poses, the classic blurb that we have. Yeah. Alright, so this is SHFiguarts Chainsaw Man out of the box, and this is a really nice figure. Honestly, I'm really impressed with how much crazy detail that this guy's packed in. The articulation's amazing. I would say he's really on par with a lot of Spider-Man-esque action figures out there because his articulation is just crazy. So yeah, accessories. We have an alternate mouth part, an alternate tie with a more flowy pose, two pairs of hands which include widespread open hands, and a pair of fists. So, getting the accessories out of the way for now, I want to talk about how impressive this figure actually is. I'm surprised that even with this guy coming out, a lot of people still think that the Figma one is better, which to a certain degree I do not disagree, because with the Figma you kind of get all the accessories that you need, to make Chainsaw Man and a Denji, but a lot of the silhouette that has been ruined with how the joint system works. I'm not saying that Figma joints aren't exactly the worst, but with how Chainsaw Man's hand chainsaws work, I don't really think they fit the silhouette for a Figma figure. And god, that freaking ugly ass diaper that Figma decided to give him, I do not know what went through the process. But back to the SHF. As you can see, he has a very anime styled sculpt with the crazy amount of wrinkles that his shirt has, the pants as well. Yeah, everything about this figure is really gritty, lots of wrinkles and detail. The shoes are very clean, I really like how they came out, even the soles are sculpted and painted. There's blood on the chainsaw bits, which is great compared to the Figma. And I love how the sculpt works for the arms, which are accurate to the anime. So, most important part of the entire figure, the head sculpt is honestly amazing. Part of me wish there's a open mouth gimmick, but with how the detail works, I think that switchable parts is still a better compromise to not ruin the whole aesthetic of the head. Head sculpt, you have the chainsaw handles over here, you have all that neck detail with all the tendons that connect to the body. You have the eye under the chainsaw vent, which is great, and you have the chainsaw on his head, which is a separate piece that's glued to the head, and these orange pieces are two plates that are glued together in assembly. So yeah, detail is amazing. Alright, to go to the articulation, once again, I say that this figure is on par with a lot of Spider-Man figures out there. SHFiguarts, Revoltech even. Yeah, this guy's posability is really just insane. So, to go straight to the joints and how they work, you get two ball joints, one at the neck and one at the base of the neck. So, you get a lot of range with those two ball joints working in tandem. I guess you can't really look up that far, like if you want to do like poses that have him angled up like this, but with the two ball joints you can do a lot of side tilts. That happens. He can look down very far. He can look down all the way actually, which is really impressive. Hip has a lot of range. You get a ball joint at the butterfly. You get a butterfly shoulder joint. So this goes a huge chunk because of how the sculpt works. It's all cut in, so you can have his arm go up all the way like this. And this is kind of like a ball joint swivel that works in tandem together with the shoulder joint. So if you want to do a lot of like crazy dynamic poses, yeah, you get a bicep swivel over here that works in tandem with the elbow joint actually because of how the sculpt works. So if you angled it in some poses, you can kind of make the sculpt blend in with how the arms work. and not to mention a swivel at the arm and a hinge on the joint as well. So yeah, arms are really articulate as well. Wrists do not have any articulation, and I'll go to that later on. You get a crazy diaphragm joint on a ball. Yeah, it goes side to side. Yeah, it goes in any way you want. The tie is a flexible piece, and this is the crazy part of the articulation. So you have a waist joint over here, but it's on a hinge, two hinges actually, and then these are on universal joints, similar to the Renewal Cougar. So what's great about the waist joint is that this whole diaper piece is a softer plastic, and honestly, it's, silhouette wise, it works a lot better than the Figma. Let's be real. So the lower torso portion, this is also a flexible plastic as well, and because of how much joints are in this thing, you can kick up all the way, but because of the hinges in there, you can make him go. Holy shit. Yeah, you can make him bend down all the way, you can make him touch his toes. Of course, you'll warp the material a bit, but it's kind of what Bandai intended for you to do. We all have seen the announcement pictures, and honestly, they still look insane. So yeah, the waist adds a lot of crazy movement to what this figure really can do, and I think this whole portion of joints itself really just enhances the figure's like expression, and like it really just makes you do a lot of crazy Chainsaw Man poses that are straight up from the manga, and I think that is really great. You get a thigh joint on a swivel. It doesn't go that far, but I think it goes enough that makes sense. Yeah, you can do that, which is great. You get a double joint knee. You get a classic SHF ankle, so you get that front and back, and the tongue and the rest of the chucks on the shoes are made of a soft plastic, so you can get a bit of articulation going on. Ankle tilt is still really good. It goes back as well. And lastly, you have a toe pivot. To go over the accessories, I'm gonna start with the extra mouthpiece. So this is supposed to be his mouth, but it's open. The tongue is posable, it's on a swivel joint as well, which is great. So the way you switch it up is pretty much very simple. You just unpeg it and just switch over the new mouth like that. And look at that, holy shit. You can move the tongue here. Yeah, this is really great. I really like it. The tie as well. You can just unpack the straight tie, put on the one that's in a pose, like it's blowing in the wind, and there you go. It's really simple. Unfortunately, this one is not really posable. It's stuck in a fixed pose, but it's made of a softer material, so if you kind of want to make it get out of the way, you can do that. For the hands, this is a little different because I was expecting just the simple swap out wrist hands and all, but the way the wrist works is that you kind of split the wrist apart, which is really interesting. So let's say I do not want this grippy right hand. I want like a fist for the right hand. So what you do is you pull the portions of the hand apart like that, so they come attached like this via a peg. So there's a hole in the middle where the peg goes through in the chainsaw, as you can see there. Yeah, so what you do is you split the hand that you want to switch with, right? Push the peg through first like that, and then you put the other half on, and just like that you have a very seamless process of how you swap the arms. And honestly, it's pretty cool. It's a lot different than I expected. It's a unique, and yeah, it works really well with the design and doesn't really hinder much of any like silhouette problems and all that. So yeah. Alright, in terms of size comparison, I'm going to pull in a few figures from other different lines in the mix to show you how roughly he scales with other figures. So first off, we have Marvel Legends. I'm going to put in Silk from the Dr. Arp 2-pack. So yeah, for a teenager, he scales pretty well since Silk is an adult size. You have Star Wars Lando Calrissian, the Gambino one. Yeah, he's a little shorter than Chainsaw Man, which is a little weird, but you know, it still works. For subject's sake, we have Figma Doomslayer, Doom guy, you know. Since you know, demons, devils, they all play a part. And for Denji's own guilty pleasure, I'm gonna bring in a Snail Shell Studio, Bubble Tea Girl, Tappy Girl. So yeah, overall, Chainsaw Man works pretty well with other lines, and you know, I really recommend him. Oh yeah, also lastly, because this is something I'm planning to work on, this is how he scales with a Warhammer Tyrannid Gene Stealer, because they are as demonic as things get. And yeah, I plan to do a photo shoot of these guys with him. So yeah, the Tyrannid Gene Stealer is technically not 1/12 scale. It's supposed to be in the 7 to 8 inch scale of the Warhammer McFarlane stuff. But for a giant monster that just does scary things, I think he works. So yeah, Chainsaw Man, just your average teenager size built figure. And I really think he fits with a lot of other lines well enough to just blend in with your collection. So that's pretty much it for my review of SHFiguarts Chainsaw Man. Overall, I really enjoyed this figure. Probably one of the most posable figures I've messed with in a long time. And I really recommend you guys picking him up. Even if you're not really a huge follower of Chainsaw Man, I just recommend him as a figure. He's really solid, articulation is amazing. And you know, maybe it will encourage you to pick up the manga or the anime and you know, discover what crazy amount of degeneracy is in there. But overall, yeah, if you guys really enjoyed this review, do leave a like, comment, and subscribe, you know, the usual stuff. I would appreciate the support, and you know, more support would just encourage me to do more videos, and you know, it's a learning process, and yeah, I really appreciate it. So that's it. This is Nicotine RX signing out, and hope to see you guys in another review. Bye.